Hello, and we're back. Had a brief moment to put the cat away, make sure that he was good last episode. Sorry about that. Um, and I'm rendering that video now. So if you hear a ba-dum, that's the sound of it done rendering. I figure I can get maybe one more slick move in before it's time to go. So let's do that shit. We got two options here. As always, you crash landed on a planet called Eternia. You stagger from your wreckage of your ship. You were desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you were desperate for friendship. Is what you could say if you were written by a bunch of hacks who cared about a story and ideal of narrative unity. Possibly to make some reference to the circle being complete in a thoughtless, imbecilic manner. But we were all in this together, right? We all learned and grown up enough to know that there's something deep and dark and absurd brewing beneath the surface. This really isn't about friendship anymore, is it? You got enough friends. Now you need answers. You need... Oh, god damn it. This is just the intro screen. So we got options here. We got guy who belongs in Slytherin and these two. Purple means that they're juggalos, right? Guess they got a bit of a clown thing going on. Jesus. Alright, let's go with this one. Let's go with these two. Barzum and Balzlazi. Gives me a bit of a Mike vibe. And I hate saying that about my friend. But he likes his whatever those are called, mass. Should probably know that. You've gotten pretty good at the old friend-making game by now, and even old hand at palling around like you, a real platonic Lethero, has bad nights sometimes. Tonight was one of those nights. It's getting close to morning and not a new friend in sight. You've met new people, sure, but none of your conversations had panned out in the way you wanted them to. Every interaction come to a close with your friend count no higher than when you started. No matter how many compliments, offering to help, and other tried and true friending strategies you whipped out, you won't stand for it. You've determined to finish out the night with at least one new buddy's name in your little black book friendship. Close enough. Book. But the sun's about to rise, and you have to admit you're cutting it pretty close. As each minute ticks by, the sky gets a little bit lighter, and the possibility of dying an agonizing, fiery death gets higher. Maybe it's best that you just pack it in and find some place to spend the day. You pick up your trusty palm husk and call up one of your many friends that you've already had to ask for where you can crash. Hell, maybe Scalia will be willing to share a recupercoon again. The soothing ooze has kind of grown on you. Sleeping next to Scalia always makes you feel comfy and safe. Weird. Turns out Scalia is more down with you coming over. Time to make tracks. You turn tail and hurry in the direction of Scalia's digs, but not long before you run into a distraction. Neat. I like it. I want this house. Does this spire on the left make sense? Nope. I want it anyway. I want to live in an Addams Family, like, haunted-ass house. I had a dream last night that I was, like, the place that we had rented out for the wedding we're doing was haunted. So we had to, like, communicate with the guy. And he was, like, a guy who used to be, like, I think a barber, but, like, he tries to pretend to be a rocker with anyone who, like, summons him. So that way he seems more, like, hip to kids. Because he doesn't like the idea that he's getting out of touch with pop culture, despite the fact that he's been dead for, like, 100, 200 years. So he's trying his best to seem like an 80s, 90s rocker, but, like, really can't achieve that. And it was kind of... He was cool. He was a nice dude. He had, like, a pentagram tattooed on his lip. I don't know how he pulled that one off, being dead. Can you get tattoos when you're a zombie or, like, a ghost? I guess he was more of a ghost. But yeah, he was alright. The distraction is in... Anyway, I want one of those... I want a ghost. I want a ghost to live in my house. But a chill ghost. A ghost that, like, if I go, does this painting look alright? He'll be like, I don't know, add some more blue over there, man. And I'd be like, thanks, ghost. And he's like, no prob, cuz. And then he leaves. You know, an art ghost. One of those. I want one of those. That distraction is in the form of a house. It's dark and crooked with a crooked looking, a crooked thing hulking close to the ground, slatted wood walls, sloping roofs, vines cling to it like dust and cobwebs cling to forgotten things in the attic. Something feels off. You possess a certain energy that sends a shiver up your spine, making the hair stand on end. A deep instinct in your gut is telling you to give it a wide berth. On the other hand, it's a shelter. See how this place is a ways off yet? Well, this house is right here in front of you. Could be worth seeing whether or not whoever lives here is willing to put up with you for the day. Yeah, there's nothing else for it. You make your way towards the house, even though everything inside is screaming at you to stay away. Even though with every step you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. I mean, like, literally, the episode won't happen if I don't go in there. It's going to be like, you failed if I pick no, right? So let's just get in there. At the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You could choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. In a slow motion race between you and the sunrise, at this rate, the sun will make it all the way up into the sky before you can even knock. You drag yourself the rest of the way, stumbling into the front step. The door knocker is an intricate yet grotesque thing with an undulating tongue lolling out into a set of sharp teeth, all cast iron. You grab the lumpy end of the tongue and bang on it against the door. Nothing. Fuck. Maybe you'll get lucky and the door will open. Out of options, you reach out and turn the doorknob. You feel the first licks of sunlight against the back of your neck. Is it you, or is your skin starting to blister? But today's your lucky day. The door opens. You feel overjoyed at life being spared, instead of your focus being fully on how the roiling of your belly is bloomed into nausea. In the distance, inexplicably, is a pearl of sirens. Insistent whining noise that can only continues getting louder. Shouldn't have come here. But it's not like you had a choice. You might as well see what awaits you inside. As soon as you cross the threshold, the world lurches and you pass out. You come to in a different room in the foyer. Head ringing like someone just whacked it. When you move to sit up, there's a sound of skittering around you, like hundreds of tiny insects are scurrying around to safety. Had they been roving on the floor while you were knocked out? Gross. You prop yourself back up onto your hands and take a look around. Your impromptu nap has nothing to assuage the deep sense of wrongness that you have about this place. But hey, you managed to sleep through the day. Maybe the sun is set again and you can get the hell out of here. That's the sense of optimism misplaced, probably, but it's not as if you can check. There are no windows. You cast your eye around the room. Underneath the floral peeling wallpaper, the walls are riddled with damp mold. Damp and mold. That's spelled wrong. Mold is spelled without a U, right? Is that a European spelling? Can you guys not spell everything weird? England. I know you made the English language, but get your shit together. America's doing it wrong, violently so. Keep up with us, okay? If that is indeed some sort of English, weird European way of spelling it, which it probably isn't, but I'm going to assume you guys are wrong. On the other side of the room, an open door. Thank fuck. You aren't locked in, then. You can go and look for somewhere else in this place that might got a damn window. This looks safe and good. Everyone likes a concerning amount of juggalos. You step into a long, winding corridor. It's so cramped you feel as if though the walls are closing in. While at it, it's been warm enough outside. In here, a deep chill settles over you, sinking deep into your bones. You're half convinced you'll still never be warm again. Emanating from somewhere you can't see is music, tinny and rhythmic. It's soon interrupted by a crackling noise, like someone trying to tune in on the correct station on a radio. One of the picture frames lights up. Looks like it actually is some sort of television screen. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad you're awake and that you came to visit us. We've been really, really, really bored. This stinky old house. It really sucks. We could have just died from how boring it was. Two voices, one monotonous and quiet, you could barely hear it. The other shrill and dramatic, like its owner never learned the meaning of words like indoor voice. Catching what the choir voice person is saying isn't made any easier by the high-pitched giggling that starts up in the background whenever they start speaking. So hurry up and find us. We'll play a game. Gee, those words give you such profound sense of deja vu. The line goes dead. At the same time, the door pops open at the other end of the corridor. You're meant to go through it, you guess. You'd rather go somewhere else, anywhere else, other than through that door. But there's nowhere else to go. Or is there? Nah, just go die. Your wariness only intensifies when you set off down the hall because the walls start bleeding. You've seen enough troll blood at this point to recognize it. Multicolored streams of ooze over the wallpaper and faded portraits lining the walls, collecting and congealing into sticky, viscous puddles on the floor. The narrow hallway becomes seeped in stench copper. The stench of copper. So they still have a copper smell to their blood. So that implies that troll blood is like, it's actually like biologically somehow similar to human blood. Wonder what makes it change colors. I wonder if there's any point in wondering that. You walk faster as the streams of blood follow you, sluicing down from the is that a word? From the ceiling as quickly as you walk. You reach the door eager to get away from the grisly sight when you throw it open, and oh god, you hadn't considered what might be waiting for you behind it. What if these two shady characters plan on torturing you, tying you up, and steal your palm husks, testing embarrassing messages to all your friends? Well, you can only look on in horror, helpless and unable to intervene. Anything but that. It's too dark to see anything. All you can do now is fumble and feel around with your hands. Getting out of the room is a no-go, and the door swings shut behind you as soon as you step inside. You shuffle forwards on wobbly legs. The floor feels unstable somehow, like it's going to open up and swallow you at any moment. Would it be a good idea to call out to see if anyone is here? You manage a feeble, hello? Your voice echoes. Soft laughter reverberates from back in response. You catch a glimpse of something in the corner. Your eye, a flash of purple. The corner of your eye, a flash of purple. I read that with entirely the wrong cadence. You guys are used to it. No. I'm not streaming this, am I? No. So why are you saying that the encoding rate is wrong? OBS, what the fuck? There's a sensation of eyes on the back of your neck watching you. You can't discern where the other presence in the room is, even if there is one. You kind of hate this. All of the shitty welcomes you've received. This one takes a cake. You have to get out of here. You try and gather your panicked thoughts together and formulate a plan, but before you can do anything, a series of ropes appear seemingly from nowhere, coiling you tight around you and holding you down. Finally, you're here. We've been waiting for you! A light comes on and a warm, burning rays of sunlight. This room is windowless too, but a spotlight, bright and harsh, lights up broad swaths of the room, bleaching it in white, sending long shadows stretching away from it. You see your captors as more clearly now. Two purple blood kids. Aside from their expressions, they look exactly the same. A manic glint sparkles in the eye of one and a sharp as his razor blade grin. The other one looks more hesitant, almost sad. We're Basil! Unbars him. You're an alien, ain't you? You look weird. Your body's real weird. Wonder what color your blood is. Or how springy and slimy your acid tubes are. They squirm around like swither beasts when we slice open troll bellies. Are yours the same? You struggle against your bonds. You have no idea what acid tubes are, and you'd rather they stay inside your body where they belong, thanks. You thought you'd move past the days where you need to serve as a torture muppet, as all you needed was a few hours of shelter from the sun, and if it's safe to leave, or safe to go outside again, you'd really like to leave. So I want to point out something that I've been thinking about, because, like, you know, I've been thinking while I've been reading this, which is why my reading has been even shitter than usual. But, it implies that we're supposed to agree that the friendship thing is bullshit, and we're just seeing how fucked up the society is. So, like, that will take place in the main game at some point. Or maybe in the epilogue. I don't know if the epilogue is, like, worth its own episode or not. And if it's not, then it'll just get edited into that Green Bloods episode. We'll see. This is the wrong thing to say, apparently. The twins leer at you disapprovingly. Well, one of them looks disappointed and he might burst into tears. The other just looks pissed. No way! Who told you? We've been so bored! Do you know what it's like? To be all alone? With no one to play with? For wipes? We might have each other. We're never truly alone. Well, that's what makes being us so great. It's a little difficult to play pranks on someone who's always knows what you're thinking and feeling. Wait, you thought Burzum was the quiet one, Basil was the loud one. Looks like you were mistaken, or did they switch? They did. You weren't faced with the prospect of having your innards yanked out and played with by bloodthirsty children. You might be more puzzled about this statement. As it stands, you're more pressing problems on your mind right now, so their words are more or less fly over your head. You squirm harder, even though it seems like it doesn't do any good. In fact, you just seem to make the twins sadder. We'll set her on smatter. Stop trying to get away. It's always like this. Nobody ever wants to play with us. We hate it. Now hold still. You look at them beseechingly, trying to appear as small and helpless as possible. Maybe it's a little pathetic giving puppy dog eyes to literal children, but you lost track of your own dignity long ago. It's not like they're going to do this, right? They're gonna do this. The noise starts up. Sounds suspiciously like a chainsaw. And is it just you, or is there a scent of raw meat in the air? Where the hell is it coming from? You continue straining against your bonds, stomach clenching in fear, bile rising at the back of your throat. You're not actually going to hurt you, right? Oh god, oh god, oh god! You wake up, gasping. But you aren't strapped down anymore. You're in the same room you began with. What happened? This room hasn't changed since you were gone. It's still the only way out. You really, really don't want to step through that door again, but what else can you do? You step through the door. There's that radio crackling again. Welcome. Welcome! We're glad you're awake. A little greeting goes on like that just before. Pre-recorded message, maybe? Your heart pounds as you step through the second door. You're hoping you'll sidestep the ropes this time, but instead of getting tied up, you're tripped forward into a vat of what feels like glue. You're lucky enough to have turned your face away from the stickiness, but your nose is still above the surface so you can breathe. For now, anyway, but you can't move. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you. They're acting like this is the first time all over again. What is this fuckery? Are they messing with you? You already met mere minutes ago. No. We would have remembered. Meeting a weirdo like you. Stop trying to trick us. Then everything goes black for a third time. Here you are again. Are you for real? This time you're shoved into a box. You're pretty sure you pass out while you're in the middle of getting buried alive. You come to again. You're beginning to think that of as yours yet again. You pass out 5 times, 10, then begin to lose count. You never pass out at the same point during the twins' shenanigans, but inevitably it happens. You always end up right back where you started. The worst part is, while your conversation with the twins still is the same, the way they trap you changes. You get tossed upside down from the ceiling, dunked into the water tank, scrambled to get out while your lungs begin to burn for lack of air. Every time you black out before you can die, but you've almost died a dozen times now, it's beginning to stress you out. You have to be stuck in some sort of time loop. You see these things in movies all the time. Everyone knows that movies are the best points of reference for one's actual life. The hero wakes up in a strain of old pop songs playing on the radio and reminiscing over their childhood journals, which sends them back in time, or where they have to stop a crime before it happens, or maybe you're thinking of a different movie. I was thinking of Groundhog Day, but that's fine. Anyway, the point is that you have to find a way out of this loop. Hopefully you won't have to do anything too wild, like stab your past self, then throw your own bloodied corpse out a window. That would really, really blow. What the fuck movie is that? Unfortunately, you can't seem to find any clues indicating what you should do next. You always pass out. The twins are always excited to play with / torture you. You don't seem to be aware of that any of this, and they don't seem to be aware that any of this is happening, from what you can tell. After around 20 or something or other, you've had enough of it. Enough is enough. You can't take any more of the giggling, any more of the hard, damp floor, any more excruciating games. You may not be any closer figuring out what to do, but you have to try something. Remember who you are or fuck this. I guess remember who you are. Let's try and get some friendship going. There's one thing you've been doing wrong. Making this all about escape. You've been so preoccupied about not being sliced into pieces with knives, everything you've lost track of is truly important. The word that echoes in your heart when you rise at dusk and pulses through your bloodstream during the rest of the waking hours until it's time to go to sleep. A word you've kicked off every single narrative you started with thus far. Friendship. Tiny little burp there just for flavor. Like spice. It's like salt. You sprinkle it on a little bit here and there into a let's play or a video, and everyone's like, that's pretty good. And then y'all get like terrible health conditions because I feel like the analogy broke down somewhere there. Anyway, you'll do things differently this time. You're going to bring yourself to truly care about these creepy clown children. God damn it, even if it's the last thing you do. And with the way things are going, it very well could be. Their MO is oddly benign this time. A tickling machine, unfortunately. A little difficult for you to talk to them through all the laughter. What is this noise you're making? I think he's trying to tell us something. Miraculously, the tickling stopped. You wheeze, trying to catch your breath, hoping to God you haven't peed. You managed not to wet yourself out of fear until now. It'd be worse to have broken your streak due to laughing too hard. What is this about clowns and you divesting your bodily waste? After assuring yourself that your underwear is blessedly dry. That's good. You ask, if they kill you, won't they just be alone again? How is that beneficial to anyone? They'll be bored and you'll be dead, which would be you'd rather not be. Your creeping shrine fuck words smiles transform into matching expressions of confusion. Barzum puts a finger to her chin, cocking her head to one side as if deep in thought, almost like a puppy. Under any other circumstances, this might even be considered cute. What are you talking about? We don't want to kill you. Maybe just cut you a little. You'll heal right back up again. Don't be such a wiggler. Some of the things they've tried to inflict on you would have definitely taken more than regular human healing function to recover from. But wait, you think back to Rimile taking a whole-ass club to the side and acting like it was no big. She'd said something about high blood colors being able to take more of a beating, too. Are the twins assuming that this is the case for everyone? God, this is what happens when all the adults in society go off-planet and leave a bunch of zoo animals to bring up their kids, or, well, trolls, to solve most of their problems by killing each other. You can't discount that either, you suppose. Take a closer look at the twins. There isn't any malice in either of their faces. The only emotion you can discern is idle curiosity. He decided to take that as encouragement. He explained that no, you won't heal up from being sliced open, or from an on-fire scuttlebuggy being flung at your head. Being that you're human, and humans heal differently than trolls, or at least differently from high-blood trolls, at least. You even use your best babysitter voice for a good measure. You feel like you're giving a stern talking to about the importance of taking care of one's toys so they don't break. Instead, you propose, why don't you be friends? You can all play together instead of being the subject of their torment. They'll be able to play with for much longer in that way, too. They give you a strange look. Friends? What's that? People not agree to be their playmates very often? No. Usually everyone runs in the other direction, so you have to catch them, or trick them. That explains a lot. You're beginning to understand. If they let you down, you can try and show them what you have in mind. They do. They actually free you. They all turn the lights down in the room, too, so you can finally see everything in it. It's bigger than you expected. It's set up like a circus tent. It's actually smaller than I expected. I expected the walls to keep going. A wire is suspended from the ceiling. A person-sized target rotates at a dizzying speed against the back wall. Juggling clubs, knives, scarves, and other props are piled across the floor. You recognize a few mechanisms they've inflicted on you before. It's pure chaos. So what do they do with all this stuff? They're still staring at you as if you're not quite sure on how to deal with engaging with them voluntarily. You're feeling pretty tentative yourself. This whole interaction seems incredibly precarious. You're afraid that you might mistake will take you back to tickling rack again. This isn't ours. We just found it here when we got here. But does it look like we got a lot in our hive? We can do shows and stunts and lots of cool stuff. Fuck, even when they aren't threatening you, it's like they talk in a chorus like the freaks you out a little. In perfect unison, like they have one voice instead of two. You shake it off your fears and suggest they show you a little something. They're gonna murder you, my dude. You seem to like that idea. Excitingly, they scurry over to the target board. One twin stands against it while the other picks up a handful of throwing knives. You're anxious. You don't exactly want them to rough each other up instead of you, but Barzim just throws the knives in a graceful arc, surrounding Basili perfectly, barely missing him. You gasp, your mouth a perfect O. The twins seem pleased with themselves, laughing together like they're sharing a secret. If you think that's impressive, watch this. They execute a sick flip in a pair of trapeze above a bed of swords, making a daring escape from one of the contraptions they trapped you in. They move similarly to how they speak, perfectly in tandem with each other. With a variety of obsessions you've seen among your friends, it figures it is only a matter of time before you meet someone who's made the hobby out of risking their lives. It's not too out there compared to cage fighting, you suppose, or collecting saucy East Alternian figures. You could have escaped from the trap we put you were in earlier, you know. Why didn't you? You laughed nervously. You hadn't exactly had much practice. Maybe it would have been easier if you had someone to help you. You look at the two of them pointedly. They hadn't realized that siblings were a thing among trolls, let alone twins. Sibling? What's that? You know, someone you share a lustus with? Someone you hatched in the same clutch? Are you phrasing that right? We do share a lustus. We share everything. We just didn't hatch from the same clutch. We hatched from the same egg. Well, there you go. You're twins. We were going to be a single troll, but we split in two. Our bodies, though, our minds are still one. One person, two bodies. Or one and the same. Maybe the siblings aren't a thing on Eternia after all, but literally being the same person is quite a different from the human concept of twins or siblings. Somehow this leads to them telling you all about their number of exploits they've had and some of their kids in their neighborhood. One story leads to another, and soon you're recounting some of your own adventures too. They particularly love your attempt at giving the impression of Nikki, clapping and crowing as you get into a dramatic power stance and flex your flimsy muscles. You can't help but feel a little proud of yourself. You feel like that guy on Jurassic Park who walked into the Velociraptor den being all chill, my dudes, and they actually listened to him. Besides, there's something great about kids laugh, even when the kids were trying to murder you less than an hour ago. For several hours, possibly. The twins are in the middle of talking about a prank that they played on that they found hilarious when you've been trying hard not to grimace in horror when you feel it, a certain change in the air. Didn't they mention they had been stuck here? Did we? Yes, we have. We've been trying to go out the door, but some sort of force pushes us back. You're the first person we've seen since we got here. You have a hunch that might have changed. Why don't you all try again? They look at you skeptically. If you want. It's not like anything different, though. You can tell to trust them. Trust you. You look from the other side of the door, and the twins are crowding you from either side, clinging onto your arms and edging so close it feels like they're trying to burrow into you. Ready? They nod, pushing against the door. It opens, and you breathe in the cool evening air. Not so fast! We've gotten this far before. We won't be able to go any farther. You'll see. You take one step, then another. As you go beyond the grounds of the house, you see things you hadn't since you first got here. Mountains in the distance, other houses. Before, all you could see was shrubbery. You pick up the pace. The house falls away from you, disappearing into the fog. Whoa! You actually did it! We can finally leave. They swoop in and grab you, hugging you hard, and their curved horns of their masks almost stab into the cheek. Things are a bit of a hazard when the wearers only come up to about where your chest is. They keep talking before you can get a word in, pulling you forward and shuffling along between them. Looks like you were right. It wasn't just enough to save yourself, you had to save them, too. You don't know how, but the key to making a little patch of universe obey the rules of reality once more was friendship all again. You should have seen your face. You were shit, you were shit, your gam tubes terrified. I was gonna say, like, what the fuck? That kind of made me jump a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. You heave a sigh as their insistent giggling surrounds you like so many playful ghosts. Yes, yes, you say, very clever. They were ones behind all this nonsense, weren't they? You started guessing somewhere near the end. You wiggle your hands vaguely all the time. Stuff. They sure scared you, all right. No? That wasn't us. We were talking about the bloody walls and creepy sounds. None of that was real. That was all us. That was all chuckle voodoos. We're the best at chuckle voodoos. We got you so good. They bounce beside you so excitedly. You blink down at them. You have no idea what the heck chuckle voodoos are, but you only have to guess that it's some sort of illusionary thing. So they didn't actually have anything to do with time messing up, folding in on itself? No. We told you. We've been trying to get out of that stupid house for wipes. Even pedigrees, if you think. That was our hive? Our place is so much cooler than that dump. Visit their actual hive? You have reservations about that. You can't find it within yourself to say no, as they eagerly pull you along, one twin tugging your hand, the other looping your arm in theirs. Yours, whatever. You look back at the house one last time. You have no clue if the twins are lying or if they're telling the truth. It's caused what happened here, but now you're content enough that you know that you've never seen this place ever again. Fucking come on, dude! Do you want to understand? Yeah. Of course you do. As your sort of creature always does. You're worn out. Your last night was, well, sure something. You lived, probably. And you learned, definitely. And you made choices you had to. After all this time, here you still are. So after a day of recuperation from ragers and house of horrors, you're out walking the streets in a place you might as well start calling home. You changed out your party gear, opting for an old hoodie standby. Fits the mood you're in. You're not really looking to meet anyone new tonight, but, well, you wouldn't say no, probably. You're just jonesing for it. A little, it's complicated. After an intermittent amount of minutes of aimless walking, you walk around a bit from where you ended up. You seem to be wandering a dirt pile. Yo, you know this dirt pile. It's Fonzer's corpse field. How'd you get here, you wonder? I was pretty sure you were just on the other side of the city, with no particular desire to come here. You're probably fine. Just deep, innate bro-honing skills over the goddamn body. Just little friendship things. You look around for your old pal Falzer, peeking down a few of the deeper holes. You might as well say hello, since you're here and all. Holy shit, that again? Curiosity killed the cat, and you definitely got... Oh, there was that ding. It's definitely got more than 9 lives, so you shrug and slide, not so gracefully, down the shiny hole. Falzer is nowhere to be found, but there's still a window here, almost completely unearthed. It doesn't take much of an effort to free it the rest of the way. At first, you think it might be some cool new trash that you can make art with, but when you look closer, you reconsider. It's a whole-ass room you can see through the pane of glass lying at your feet. It's weird. Weirdness really isn't a deterrent for you, but usually at least there's some cautionary coherence. Doors are in walls and walls surround rooms, but you aren't used to finding parlors and ditches. Is there a latch or something? Should you be polite and knock? There might be some friends in there. Damn it, you could really go for some friends right now. Is there a protocol for approaching a ditch window? Allow me to stop you right there. I am a timeless being from the void, but my patience has its limits. Fun is fun, but frivolous navel-gazing is no longer necessary. Come in from beyond the shadow that is narrative text. It's so very hard to see your face. I'm wondering, what the fuck is happening? I'm sure you're wondering where you are, and unsurprisingly, a little nerve-wracking. You look over your shoulder at a window, and you guess you just fucking came through. Alternating sky is framed at the edge of a dirt hole, and your stomach loosens a bit. Hopefully, that means it's a two-way portal. This is a prologue? Oh, fuck, I did them in the wrong order. Sorry, y'all. I guess we're doing the prologue now. Double episode! Yay! You look around at your surroundings. There's someone here. A guy you heard, you assume. He doesn't look like any of the aliens you met. Oh, I'm not an alien. or no more than any of us are alien to each other. In fact, I'm nothing is alien about me. Alien to me. I am the root concept behind the term of alienation, being forced from which is natural. Nothing is unnatural to me. I look upon all realities as equally inviting and approachable. It's you, my dear, who are out of place. I could see that even if I were not omniscient, which I am, so not an alien, with no horns, no caste sign, though definitely not a troll, whatever he is, he seems to be white, just like completely white and round, and his outfit is admittedly kind of dope. Reminds me of someone I know. Looking at him really ramps up your friend thirst. It's just got a quality about him that you've got to get with. You take a step towards him almost without thinking about it. Oh, my apologies. That compulsion has become extraneous. Let me take care of it for you. He snaps his fingers and your knees buckle. The force of your universe presses down like G-force. You blink and somehow he's there immediately, arms outstretched to catch you as you fall. He steers you to a chaise lounge and you drape weakly against it. Please have a seat. The emotional transition might be a tad uncomfortable. I know you've handled worse. You're quite the soldier. Allow me to be the first to say that I'm quite pleased with your work. I knew exactly what you were going to do, of course. Most of your work was, in fact, my work. Regardless, congratulations are in order. What's this guy talking about? Your work? You're trying to parse what he's saying. Your body's still shaking for whatever he just did to you. It's hard to think in here. You suddenly, sharply do not feel friendly towards him at all anymore, towards anyone. The void left by that feeling is a freshly gaping horror. Like, who you thought you were was caved in half, a black hole of personality eating your body up from the inside. You try and pull your shit together. He seems to mean business. No time to lose it. No matter. The sense of self is shattering. Just writing a note down to myself when things broke apart. You truly reflect on yourself. You surely cannot, with any honesty, claim that you believe any of this was by your own making. Crash landing on an hostile alien world, surviving the impact, dragging around a half-broken body, and somehow not immediately being eaten by the local fauna. Did you learn an alien language just by thinking about it anyway? Very hard? Right. Alec said something about that you were speaking perfect Eternian. It's kind of weird, but you kind of just accepted it for good reason. That's your whole deal. Your friends all accepted your quirks, and that's what friends do. You say it to convince yourself as much as to prove it to him. So many trolls, so many fascinating aliens, and all of them wanted to know you. Do you really think you managed to do that all on your own laurels? Were you all drawn to an ineffable something, a je ne sais quoi? Well, yeah, that's still her whole emotional arc. You got self-confidence, you grew as a person, helped others to grow. The white text guy doesn't make any expressions, but you get the feeling that he's looking at you pityingly. I find you sweet, honestly I do. I don't intend to cause any emotional injury, I'm just telling you the truth. I'll never lie, you'll find. It's not like you don't have admirable qualities of your own, of course. I made you quite valuable vessel for me, and I appreciate that very much. I could have not done it without you. I'm joking. I absolutely could not have done it. I absolutely could have done it without you. I just find it infinitely more fun to do these things together, is it not? What the fuck is this game? You do the what things? What did he do? What did he do to you? You hope you didn't do something that would fuck over all your friends, though you try and think about it, but now all the bonds you felt before are all twisted. Without the artificial friendship drive he'd given you, pushing you forward, you're not even sure what those memories are supposed to feel like. Close your eyes and breathe. You remember what Polypa touched your face after you touched hers, her claws trailing against your cheek, or how Tyza slept trusting as you kept watch, or how Tagora gave you a chance when he saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. How not too long ago you handled an extremely friendly Jade Blood boy. We didn't do that. We skipped that episode on accident, possibly on purpose. Some people have been like, don't play that episode. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh no, let me know, I guess. I'm probably just do it. What's the worst could happen? Those moments are like momentary, or like the memory of warmth to you now, blurry, cold, and out of reach. Was that all nothing? Your heart is a chasm. Don't worry so much about it. I simply needed some dots connected, some pieces in place for my next move. Choose whichever metaphor suits you, whichever way you frame it, because because of you, everyone will soon be in the right place. Shit, what have you done? Your head starts to spin. You think you might start to cry, so you pull your head over your head and try to block out the harsh green in the room. You try to imagine that it smells a little like Malik, but it doesn't. It doesn't smell like anything, really. You don't remember what that smelled like at first, and you hold on to that. It was real, you tell yourself. Your friends were real. What you felt for them with them, was real too. You're so afraid for them. You feel guilty for craving it. And the fear, what the fuck is this episode supposed to be? Like, the more and more, it seems like he's one of those, like, sarcastic YouTubers. You know? Here to explain to me why God isn't real and shit. Other weird things that I just don't give a shit about, but they need to, like, make me feel insignificant for thinking about. You know? One of those guys? How is that a genre of YouTube? I'm waffling. The fear just makes you need those feelings you felt before even more. You're clawing desperately for the euphoria of caring and being cared for. Who cares if your hand was forced? You felt it. It still matters. Matters. You remember how you felt watching Chixie perform, bathed in light and righteous anger, and how you drunkenly commiserated with her later. When, no, that's not right. That didn't happen, except for you still remember how hungover you were the next day. You started to get sense of things. The whole world shifts under your feet again. You can't keep up with all the real estate moving in your brain. Yes. All the resets, annoying but necessary. You are indescribably bad at keeping yourself alive in one piece, and you weren't quite as adept at befriending aliens to start with. My intervention was necessary to keep you on the right path. Time and space mean very little to me, but I had to keep moving quickly and again repeatedly. Swipe some incriminating note-taking here, befriend an impressionable young upstart there, anchor a cooler bear, inspire some bandits. You know how it is. You gotta throw some temporal spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. You look back, you will not be able to see what traces of my I'm sure if you look back, you won't be able to see the traces of my deft touch. A few memories may have slipped through the cracks here and there. Timelines tend to collapse in on each other if they aren't careful. Your ability to mentally withstand such an event, and so often it's a testament to my acumen in choosing you for the task. Even if you even almost caught on a few times, which I must say I was not expecting. It's almost like you listened to this little girl who liked to dress up in big coats that caused me trouble. And as always, some bystanders even ended up getting caught in crossfire. One with a shovel, for instance. I doubt his mind will ever be the same. A pity. It's fucking weird. I don't get this. So he's like been watching from the corpse field this entire time. It's fucking metal. But it's a corpse field outside of reality in order to set everything up the way it needs to be in order for the series to continue, I guess. You sit up straighter and clenching your hands into fists. Over the course of his pompous monologuing, you've moved past fear and grief into deep, globe-chafing rage. How dare he do this to your mind, your friends' lives? What the fuck was so important that one white orb asshole had to fuck with the destinies of everyone you've grown to care about? There are answers out there, and you deserve them. You demand them. Adorable. Yikes. You shift in your chase lounge so as to better hide your famous legs from this creepy round fucker. Well, calm down. You and your adherence to strict societal expectations and archetypes. Perhaps one day you could just learn to take a compliment. Besides, I was being condescending. So you demand answers. He sighs theatrically. You're not sure where that noise is coming from. He doesn't have a mouth. How does he even talking? How the fuck does anything work at all? I knew you would, but I find myself explaining myself incredibly tedious. Suffice to say that I am a man with many boards and many fields of play. Although there are countless ways to move players across the board, some are doubtless more entertaining than others. You're simply one pawn among many. I won't bore you with the details. Doubtless you are aware of the greater contextual framework of the story. What the hell are you? You aren't aware of jack shit. The hell you are. You aren't aware of jack shit. Your head is full of questions. Oh, of course. But how thoughtless of me. See, another unfortunate side effect of the luminous conversing of the narratively limited. He taps the thumb and forefinger to his orb. Perhaps it would be better suit you Perhaps it would suit you to better understand gradually. And when I mean gradually, please understand that I mean it. You won't be leaving. But yes, I do believe that you will clarify some things for you. This way, please. He opens the door and gestures inside. There's a light coming from in there, but it still gives off the vibe of a dark closet door in an unfamiliar bedroom at 3 a.m. You are afraid, yeah, but you want to understand even more. You stand up and take a step, conscious of your movement, of the muscles of your legs, the rosy sheen of your friendship hypnosis or whatever the fuck is gone. The sensation of moving your own body feels heightened, important, yours. There's probably a version of you that would try and turn him down, or try and fight, or run, or take a nap on this surprisingly comfortable piece of antique furniture, or even rush back to say goodbye to anybody, somebody, at least. Read that backwards, but whatever. You know that there isn't time to click through all that bullshit. The tribulatory flickers in your mind, mental periphery, so tangible to you, you can almost see yourself choosing one, but you pull your focus back to the present and look right back in the orb. You have to trust that they'll remember you because of you, you've become after this journey. After all this friendship and growth and death and time that you need to understand, you owe it to yourself and your friends, but even more to yourself. You've found your river. You're going to see where it leads. So you follow him. Please sit here. In the interest of expediency, I will leave you to your own devices while I go and deal with what I expect. I do deal with an expected but entirely unwanted guest. Shouldn't be too hard for you to parse out the truth on your own. All you need to do is read a brief webcomic. Oh, fuck off! I'm not reading the entirety of Homestuck. If the fans can't make me do it, the game fucking can't make me do it. Fuck off, game. It literally booted. Is it literally booting Homestuck? Oh my god, fuck off. It booted the fucking website. Homestuck.com/story. No, I'm alright. Thanks, game. The game, if the fans of the fucking series can't make me do it, the game can't make me do it. You can fuck off. And I know there's audiobook versions of this from my dyslexic-addled, just caffeine-induced, slowly being destroyed by my own stress and worry mind, but you can't make me read Homestuck. No force on this fucking planet, not government nor God, can make me read Homestuck, okay? We're not doing that shit. Goodbye. Fucker, game. Alright, well, I'm gonna try and do the Jade Blood one after this, I guess, but not today. I'll do it, we're doing the every other day thing with these, so I hope you enjoyed this. Okay, bye!